Right, so welcome everybody to the first part of our weekly breakdowns ever. This is going to be a new YouTube channel and it's going to be a new YouTube series where we break down the markets every week or every 2 weeks, depending on the opportunities or how long the trades that I give out exist for. But I'm going to run through most of the pairs that you see on the bottom of my MetaTrader right there. I'm going to be going over long-term direction for each pair. I'm going to be going over the setups, how we're going to get there, or possibly every single different scenario. This is our new YouTube channel. We had a YouTube channel previously, but it was only a private link for our members only. But this is going to be a regular thing. We're going to upload a lot more videos. So with that being said, let's get underway. We'll start with Euro. Okay, let me just clear all of this off so I can start from the bottom and show you guys how I analyze a chart from the ground up. So for a start, we'll just go out to the monthly. All we're looking to do is just get a broader picture of what's going on. So we just want to look far left as possible and see what happened. Okay, we see an A, B, C, D pattern. Okay, so we'll just take our support from B and take our resistance at C, ignore the spike. So what we have here is a range in where price action found support at the bottom, resistance at the top, support, support, support. Okay, so price needs to come back up and retest this level right here. So looking at a Fibonacci from A to B, we can see that a nice 38.2 lines up with resistance. We can also have a wick zone to the left that we need to fill, which we already kind of had there, but price is going to eventually try and make its way back up here to retest the last wick zone that we need to fill. So you could expect the price to make a retracement before moving higher, possibly another move down, but more than likely a retracement before tapping these zones on a long wick and then rolling over again. I expect in the future minus 61 to be hit, retest all-time lows on the market. So that's pretty much the monthly for the moment. We are long-term aiming for 120, 1.20, but currently we are looking for a retracement into previous resistance turn support. So let's move to the weekly. Okay, so we're just going to get rid of our 2 lines there. And on the weekly, we just want to take a look at what's going on. Okay, so we just want to take a look at, this is our first swing, A to B, C, D, E to here. We've made a retracement and we are currently at an extension level up here. A lot of pros have been calling out for longs to 113s, 114s, but it's hard. It's easy to get caught up in the market at some points and see these big bullish engulfing candles, but you need to just stop, take a step back, and look where we are in the market. We have made a retracement. We're at the extension level. Price is roadblocking there. Okay, bullish engulfing, but why did price all of a sudden stop? There's heavy resistance there. Makes another run, stops again. So I don't know why people were calling for longs this week when it was quite clearly putting in a weak formation. So we just want to do what we do on the monthly. We want to take this A to B. Okay, we know point C up here. Okay, we can clone another line up there. And we all of a sudden see this kind of wick liquidity zone that price has entered and we've rolled out of. So we know now that price is on the retrace. So let me just clear off these gold zones. We want to go to the daily. We want to take a fib from swing low to swing high. Okay, I want to identify possible pullback points. Starting from the ground up, okay, let's get in a trend line here. Let me change these trend lines to white so it's a bit more distinguishable. Okay, trend line 1, and that is trend line 2. Let me see if I can get one more in here. That is trend line 3. Okay, so now we have our trend line supports / resistances. What we want to do is look at possible support resistance. So first of all, I see this area. I'm going to change the color of this, make it a bit more clearer. Okay, that's first support. Okay, second is in here at 78.6. Our latest one is, let me draw a zone for that one actually because it's important. Change it to red. Okay, so that's our first stop. This is our second stop. This is our third stop. Okay, so typically on a trend line break of this trend line and this trend line, 0.1 for this shorter term one is the first target, and 0.2 for the longer term one is this target. So we could very well end up, one more trend line I forgot in there is this one here that I had drawn on. So as I said, 0.1 is first port of call for trend line breaks. So this is definitely the first stop. Okay, price is a bit momentum now. We have a strong bearish candle. I expect candle to close around here. Tomorrow come up to retest this previous resistance, support term resistance, and price will roll over then to the red zone. In the future, we could see a pullback to around here again, or we could see price just break through and break through again. I expect price to stay within this. 1 second. Change the colors on this. Nice and white. I expect price to stay within this channel. As you can see, support turns resistance. People have the misconception of a channel, not the misconception, but they tend to put their top of the channel on resistance, but it just does not tie in at all, realistically. Even here, it only ties in there, but that's by chance. There's no support back in here. You need to do the same as with support and resistance. All trend lines are angled support and resistance. So this is going to be our support. We're looking for a resistant level up top, and that is it there. If you just tilt your head at an angle, you can see that price went up to successfully retest resistance, and now we are rolling over. So we have been putting in this rising channel formation here, which means we should see a deep correction. Okay, because price is getting weaker, we're going to experience a sell-off. So longer term, what we could see with price action is possibly a move all the way back down to here, possibly a move in here, possibly a move in here. But first stop is just below the 38.2. So with that being said, we are short euro coming into next week. We're going to be looking at a retracement to enter the market, but we are definitely short medium term. But long term, we are looking for good buys in this market because we can aim for higher prices up around here. So let's move on to GBP USD. Once again, we always want to take a look on the monthly, and we just want to get a broader view of what's happening. So straight away, what we see is an A to B, C, D pattern. Okay, you can see we found strong resistance around this 50% level. We see we got a nice retest of 0 there. We went to the -27 extension. Now, with this, what could happen is after we got our extension level hit, is we could see, if we measured this impulse from A to B, we could see price pull all the way back up to 38.2. However, that goes in correlation with our euro analysis. We expect a few 100 pips rise in these markets, but medium term, we are waiting for pullbacks into support if we look left. So with that being said, GBP USD long term, we are looking for about a 1,000 pip gain in this market from current market price. So we drop to the weekly. We just want to take a look at our important levels. What I like to do is drop to the line chart. Let me just zoom in here. Drop to the line chart. And we find support here, resistance here, resistance here. And we might just look for one more key level, support here as well. Now, another little trick that I like to use with these zones or levels is draw a zone to the wick. So I'm just going to clone a line to a wick, these two wicks down here. Okay, that's our first one. Our second one will be, once again, to those wicks in there. And our third one, but not least, is in there. And I'm going to change that to green just to highlight its support and not resistance. Change this to green also. I forgot one more down the bottom. Here is another one. Just going into that wick up there. And we will once again change this line to green. Okay, we can go ahead and get rid of those actually because our zones paint the picture. Okay, so we can drop, or we can say draw our trend lines. We can do this. This is our first trend line. This will be our second trend line. As you can see, we found short-term support for a breakdown. We can make a channel out of this once again. Okay, I'm taking these up a bit. The resistant levels. Okay, so looking in the market, okay, found resistance, support once again, retracement, bottom of the channel, retracement. Now at the top, we move lower, we get our retracement, we move lower. Currently, we're on our retracement, but we are pulling into previous support to turn resistance, which is why you see this long wick that's left here. Personally, I think next week we will leave a wick, a high somewhere in this zone here, or even just a bit below it, and we will see then a fall to 125s, if not a bit lower. Our first stop is this support level right here in the market. Okay, we see our support level right here also. So that's currently where we are. Also, these are our three key levels. So we'll drop to the daily now, and we'll figure out what price is doing. Let me just fix up these trend lines down here. For those of you who use MT4, you know that sometimes the scaling gets off when we are drawing the levels or trend lines in, should I say. Drop that one down lower. And as you can see, we are breaking this trend line, broke it there, found resistance up along it, until we pulled back to the top of this zone, which it was our resistance. If you look left, resistance, resistance, support, support, now turn resistance. Also, it was, if I'm not mistaken, just a bit above a 61.8 retracement. Okay, we've hit our extension levels down here, currently retesting 0. Previous support turned resistance. We've left a nice wick on the daily that needs to be filled, so we can expect the minus 61 to be hit next week. If we drop down to an even lower time frame, we can even sneak another channel in here. Once again, with our channel, we're not looking for just a support level here. We're looking for previous resistance, ignoring the new spike, to turn support, which it does. Okay, you see this support line. What I currently see that is making me indecisive about GBP USD is this head and shoulders formation right here. We have the necklines, we have the shoulders, and sorry, I'm not sure what happened there. And we have the start up here, and we could very well end up pulling back up into this zone very quickly. So currently on the daily, we are looking for a short opportunity, but short term on the 4 hour, get a 61.8 retracement, and look what we get straight away, our minus 61 extension up here at 1.2925. So it's a 200 pip move all the way back up there. What I would wait for is a break of 0 cleanly before we make a move up there. It will be a 100 pip trade with, let's say, a 40 pip stop. Okay, so that's GU. For the moment, we are short-term long, medium-term short, and long-term long. So what could very well happen actually is, I just saw that there as we got an A to B, C, D completion. Since we have, in the grand scheme of things, we have an impulse, we have our bullish flag, we could very well get a breakout to the upside actually, which will go hand in hand with our euro analysis, which will possibly stop here. However, all depends on the euro GBP chart. But these two pairs I am definitely looking to go long for in the long-term future. So that's GBP/USD. I don't pay attention to USD CHF. I just use it for an inverse look at the euro. So we have this head and shoulders style trade. Currently about 40 pips away from first resistance, and euro is 40 pips away from first support. So all makes sense, all lining up. We'll take a look at USD JPY. So I'm going to go out to the monthly. Okay, we see I had these drawn in earlier. We have a key level of support, key level of resistance. We just want to drop now shorter term. We see we are ranging. We have hit the bottom twice. We're now on our way back up to hit the top once again. We see support line in here, which price is respecting very well. These spikes are liquidity grabs, banks looking for the best possible prices. A lot of banks were calling out for 108.5 to be hit, and we found gap support in around there also. We did have this doji followed by a bullish run, but we finished lower. However, I do expect that we will see this wick getting taken out to the upside, and we will see 114s very, very quickly. We will draw from A to B for our Fibonacci. We will find 50% retracement has been hit. Okay, so minus 27 lines up perfectly with our 124 level. We're going to go ahead and get rid of that. We're going to drop to the weekly. We are going to see our bearish flag in play. Let me just drop to the daily to fix that up for a second. You have there to there to there. Okay, so go back to the weekly. What we notice is we have an A to B. We got a 50% retracement there. We moved down to minus 27 extension level, which is holding pretty well. If you just look left at a little structure down here, we can see that there is support here, resistance, resistance. Minus 61 was strong. This area is holding very, very strong, which is a good sign. We got an indecision candle last week. We retested the lows. Price doesn't want to go any lower. We are finally breaking out of this channel. So what that means is if we drop to the daily, we found gap support at the minus 27 right here. Fill the gap. We form a double bottom. Currently today we've broken the neckline. I expect price to break out of this channel. I need price to have a good firm bullish close out in order for me to go long back up to 38.2. And this Fibonacci will stay in play as support and resistance all the way up. Okay, Fibonacci is theoretically a support and resistance setup. So one thing about spotting here as well is we have this start, left shoulder, neckline, head, right shoulder, or neckline, right shoulder, and possibly a head and shoulders completion up around 117, 116s. So all technicals supporting USD long against the yen, which is good news for gold shorts. We could see some severe market moves in the coming weeks due to the fact that we have been consolidating or weekly ranging in a weak fashion. So we could see these pops that we get right here in the markets. We could see another one to the upside. I have been calling out USD JPY long since about here. Okay, we dropped a little lower, but the reason why is you see we have a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Okay, then sorry, that was the wrong one. Then you can see right here we take out this lower high to form a new higher high. So in my analysis, what I had was an A to B fib. Okay, and I had this minus 27 extension to the 78.6 highlighted. Sorry, let me just fix that. To the 78.6 highlighted as a possible reversal zone. And you can see price did drop a little lower to 88.6, but we got the move upwards. I was going to go long on this just minutes after the FOMC released the rate, but before the press conference, but I didn't, which I'm regretting now, because I thought price could have just retested highs and dropped lower. But in my eyes, we have an impulse, once again, a weak descending channel. We could see a retest of these zero levels up here at 114, and yeah, that's USD JPY basically. We'll move to Euro JPY. I haven't checked this in a while, so it should be interesting. We see once again the same charting techniques we will use on this as the USD JPY. We see price put in lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And what we do is we take it out up here. Okay, this is our new higher high. So once again, take our fib from A to B, and we will see that we are sitting nicely on the 61.8 retracement. One thing I will also point out is if we just take a look at long term, and I'll show you how this makes sense, guys. We are putting in a higher high, higher low. Okay, then we are going to form this little A, B, C D to form a new higher high up around 170s. Expect that to be hit in about 10 years. That's very, very long term. So just my opinion on the market based on technicals. But currently I see this. Okay, start, left shoulder, neckline, head, right shoulder, neckline. I should do the neckline first to make it a bit more sense, but we could finally see a move back up to the minus 27 extension with this head and shoulders formation and a break of this lower high. We are now shifting trend. So we will drop to the weekly now. Let me just get rid of all this clutter. Just give me a second, guys. Should be most of it. See if this fix up this fib. Zoom in up top. All looks good. Okay, so you can see the market is respecting the 61.8 very well. We get a form of double bottom. Okay, we break the neckline. Now we're looking at a retracement and move higher. So I'm going to get rid of that Fibonacci so it doesn't cause confusion when you drop to the lower time frames. But currently, what we're looking at is this. We have this channel in play. Once again, we will go to support there. Resistance doesn't quite make it down. And we can clone another one if needs be. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where to put this. I'll leave it there. And we can put a resistance there, a resistance line there at this level up here. So with that being said, we are in this rising channel formation. We did put in an A, B, C, D, but technicals, what did we do? We broke the lower high. Okay, so now what do we do? Every time we will measure A to B. And now let's look at possible pullback points. Okay, first pullback point is retest of resistance, which price is respecting currently. We will go on to retest previous support here. We could drop well in lower. We could go to retest 0. And we could go up to take out this support level up here that will turn resistance in our channel. So we can also, I use these little tricks every once in a while. You can clone the highs to the highs. We can then clone the line down here. And price could possibly come up, double top, pull back into our support trend line and move higher into this cluster of technicals up here. So we'll drop to the lower time frame now and we'll see what's going on. We'll just fix up this Fibonacci. Okay, we see price is respecting this support very, very well. Okay, even this is another trick you can do. Clone it to the wicks and all of a sudden you find secondary support in here and you have a nice little zone to put orders in. Okay, as you can see, price came in, straight back out, came in, straight back out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Okay, so nice little liquid zone to put your orders in. But currently on the daily, we look to be respecting that zone and we should see move back up to 125. For hourly wise, we have this resistant trend line up top. Change the thickness. Resistant trend line up top. We have a secondary trend line in here. That's just going to get too close so that you guys will understand. But basically you can draw trend lines here and use it as support. On this break, pulls back into support. On this one, you get the break, pulls back into support. On this one, resistance, breaks it. So you could possibly see a return to support around here. I'll leave that trend line out for the minute. We clone the line back down to support. We see this channel. Okay, we can pull a fib from A to B, and we can see price could possibly retest to 8.2 before moving to the 61.8. I expect the 61.8 to be hit based on this minus 27 lining up perfectly with 38.2. And let's see what the 61.8 comes in at with the 50 almost. However, since we have that information, we can expect that this will respect a retracement style trade. So where we pull back into, well, previous support hasn't been touched, so you'll see a move down, a move back up. We got our accumulation distribution, false move to the downside, quick rail track, break in previous lower highs to pull back, move higher. So I expect to look for a long on EJ up to 124. Ties in with my USD Jpy analysis. However, if I'm going long, I'll use a power of correlation by knowing that euro is weaker than the dollar. So if euro is weaker than the dollar and I'm looking to go long euro yen, I can just go long USD Jpy because I know it's going to be a more secure trade. So let's move on to Gbp Jpy, and this will be one of the last pairs we're going to cover today. We will just take a look at the state of the current markets. Once again, we see this lower high being taken out. So what do we do every time? Fib from A to B. We get a well-respected 88.6 retracement, starting to move higher. Okay, starting to put in this C retracement, possible move to the upside to the 50 to complete an A, B, C, D and retest previous support, turn resistance. So that's on the monthly. All the yen pairs we are looking long. Drop to the weekly. We will take a look. We will ignore these Brexit, post-Brexit spikes. We will clone a channel from here to here. We will go from resistance, once again ignoring spikes post-Brexit. It's more fundamentally driven, and we just don't want to pay attention. So we will fix this up. Turn off that. We put our resistance there. So you can see long term, if we take from A to B, we put in a 50% retracement, and this is how you use Fibonacci. We will step up in fibs, okay, 50, move up. We will come back to 38.2 along with trendline support, and we'll make a new higher high. I expect in the future the minus 27 to be hit along with the top of the channel. We can see a nice strong move up to there. But long term on the daily, that's the ABCD fib I see. If we even go a bit shorter term, let's see, can we find some confluence? Go from A to B, we see we'll go from our 61.8 to our 78.6 buy zone. 38.2 slots in well. We'll get rid of that fib. Sorry, let me get rid of this. I don't know where it's gone. Apologies, just 1 second. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we have a nice little buy zone down there. You have gap support and bullish engulfing. We drop to a lower time frame on the 4 hour. We can see a massive channel in here. Once again, resistance, support, support. Okay, and what we did do is we took out these lower highs that we were forming there. We took out this important zone. So where can we look for an entry in this pair? We will put a line there as our support and resistance. We will take a fib from A to B, and we'll see a nice 38.2 lining up there. What I do see on trendline breaks is we will retest 0.1, so you guys will see a 750 pip move in the coming future. Okay, it only takes 1 month for price to move in that fashion on these type of trades. So that's GJ. I'll do one more. Go to Euro GBP. Okay, let's just take a look at the monthly once again. What are we doing? We took out these lower highs. What did we do? We retested a resistance turn support. What are we doing long term? We put in this massive ABCD fib at 61.8 retracement, made a new higher high. What this does look like to me is start, left shoulder, neckline, neckline, possible right shoulder, and completion. Or start, left shoulder, neckline, right shoulder, completion. Okay, so it all depends on if we do take out these highs, ignoring the spike, Brexit. If we do take out these highs, it's a valid head and shoulders. We will see 0.97s. If it's not, and we see a doji or weak price action, we will pull back down to retest resistance turn support. Okay, so we will go ahead and get rid of these ellipses. Just give me a second. Go to this fib as well. We will zoom in a bit, and you can see where are we at in the market. A to B, we found a C retracement at the 50, double bottom, broke the neckline. Okay, so we could be pulling back in only and before moving higher. So nice technicals lining up with our head and shoulders in the longer term. Scale of things, we'll get rid of that. We will check out what price is doing. 0.1, 0.2, to support, some resistance up here. We're in this channel currently. It's a bit wide. We can shorten it up even to first resistance here. See, first resistance after the impulse lines up with first resistance up here. So what we could be doing is, we have a nice support level in here that is holding extremely well. We'll just take a little look left at possible resistance. Okay, nice resistance, 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 resistance. So really this channel been broken there. When I get down to the lower time frames, it will look a little bit distorted, but there is a trade set up here. What we see is one trend line and a possible support trend line there. So you have this fib A to B, C retracement, D completion. In order for me to consider shorts, I need to see this level being taken out to the downside before retracing, putting in a head and shoulder style trade and taking it back down to 8.03. Or I need to see equal lows before I consider a short back up here. Or I need to see a good old-fashioned strong trend line break to pull down here. So that's Euro GBP, definitely a lot weaker than the pound. Okay, pound is gaining on our analysis, as you can see. Euro is not. USD JPY is rising. Euro JPY is rising. GBP JPY is rising. So hope you enjoyed this technical video. A few tips to finish off with that we would like to share that will help with your analysis is, it might seem a little cliche, but buy low, sell high. Okay, here's an example. We're right here. I am not a fan of trading breakouts. Okay, as you can see, if this channel was drawn wrong by anyone else and they see, let's say, these wicks, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unsuccessful breakout attempts that people will get caught on. So if you draw your channel right, you don't have to worry about it. But if you don't, I would suggest buy low, wait for the retracement, sell high at extension levels. Right now we're at an extension level, so it doesn't make sense to buy the breakout. I will wait for, even if it does break out, I will wait for the pullback before buying, because price isn't gonna go vertical. Okay, price is gonna, it's not even gonna do that. Price is gonna go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Even if you saw this impulse, see this impulse, and you're thinking sell, 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 oh, sell, I missed it. But we pulled back and we could have got in there again. Okay, people thinking sell, oh, we missed it, but we pulled back, sell. Okay, so it takes patience and it takes a bit of sense. Another thing would be identifying market structure. Okay, this is our high. Okay, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. We take it out, we will retest, we will move up to form a new trend until we hit maybe a roadblock along here. Could possibly all turn around there. I'm not a crystal ball, I'm just giving you my analysis and interpretation. So if you like these videos, please like and subscribe. Visit my Instagram at Sever Capital. Visit my trading view. It's Sever Capital also. Links will be in the description. If you want to learn Forex from the ground up from me, have access to me all the time, send me an email at severcapital17@gmail.com. All information will be given below. If you enjoyed this video, please share with your friends. Also, we're trying to get off the ground with this channel. So if you like what you see and you see these trades playing out over and over, please like and subscribe and share with your friends. So that is it for volume 1 of our weekly breakdowns. We will see you next time.